What's up, guys? Welcome back to another show. Today I just want to talk to you guys about the latest issue of Retro Gamer that I just picked up today. The reason I picked it up is because it's got a cool 4-page article on Street Fighter 2, which you can see here in the top right corner. You know, I couldn't pass up the opportunity of picking up this issue because anything related to Street Fighter, I have to have it. You know, I got all the games. I have it here on my arcade, which you can see there, and it's one of the greatest games ever made, ever. One of the best competitive games, one of the best fighting games. Even now, after 20 years or even longer, it's still one of the best fighting games of all time. Still holds up really well, and there really isn't much more I can say. Capcom pretty much nailed it with Street Fighter 2. One of the best games ever, period. And it was one of the games that really brought arcade gaming to its heights. And before that, the arcades were kind of just like, whatever. But when Street Fighter 2 came out, man, let me tell you, everywhere had Street Fighter 2 arcade machines, convenience stores, theme parks. Everyone had them. They were selling out everywhere. People were just popping in quarters like crazy, and it was a Capcom just fucking made a killing off of it. But anyways, I'll get back to the Retro Gamer issue, and you'll see here it's got a really cool Street Fighter 2 sort of intro, and it takes you through the history of it from the very first Street Fighter, which came out in I think 1987 or 1988, and it takes you through to so here's the first Street Fighter. It takes you through the history of the very first Street Fighter. And down here along the bottom, it shows you all the characters from the first Street Fighter. And there are actually quite a bit of characters. And let me tell you, this was one hard game. Like really hard. I remember playing this when I was a kid at a local barber shop where I used to go get my haircuts. They had a Street Fighter, an original Street Fighter arcade in the back, and me and my brother always used to go back there and play it. And I couldn't even get past the first guy. I couldn't even get past the first round. I would get my ass kicked every time. It was one of the hardest games ever. And doing special moves in it was insane. Like, you couldn't do it. You just had to keep pressing the buttons and just hope that, you know, and just like pray to God that you'd pull it off. That was pretty much the original Street Fighter. It was one hard freaking game. And then it takes you to Street Fighter 2, which was the game that pretty much took the whole world by storm. It was just a phenomenon. So it takes you through the history of Street Fighter 2. It's just a quick history, it's nothing long. And one of the best games ever made. And then it takes you to Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. And this game was released around the time when Capcom wasn't so hot in the arcades. You know, they kind of fell behind in the fighting genre after Mortal Kombat came out, and World Heroes and Art of Fighting and all these other fighting games came out. The whole market just became really saturated, and Capcom kind of fell behind. They tried to sort of revive the series. Excuse me. They tried to revive the series with Street Fighter 3, and they actually made 3 editions of it. And I think Third Strike was the best out of all 3 of them. And of course, they also did the Alpha series and the EX series. The Alpha series was a lot of fun. It's not covered in this book here, in this magazine. But the last part, it takes you to Street Fighter 4. So I'll show you guys right there, Street Fighter 4. And just gives you a brief history of that. And Street Fighter 4 was actually pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it. You know, but I still enjoy playing the old original Street Fighter 2. Hyper Fighting, that's my favorite one, and the Anniversary Edition, which allows you to play pretty much all the characters in all the different modes, starting from the original Street Fighter 2 to Champion Edition to Hyper Fighting and to another one I can't remember. It's got like 4 or 5 different modes in there that you can play. But Street Fighter 2 was this game was a phenomenon. It's an awesome game. The original one still holds up incredibly well after, over 20 years. So, that's it, not much more I can say. Street Fighter 2, Capcom, you guys killed it with this game. Still an awesome game to this day. And hats off to you guys for creating such a kick-ass fighting game. And that's it. So that's the latest issue of Retro Gamer here in Canada. And I think in the UK they're ahead an issue, but you know, here we always get shit late, but fuck, what can you do? That's Canada. So there you go, guys. Retro Gamer. It's got a cool Street Fighter 2 it's got a cool Street Fighter 2 history in it. It's not that long, but it's still pretty cool and it's still worth checking out. So if you're into retro games and if you're into gaming history, I highly recommend picking up the latest issue of Retro Gamer. Cheers.